guests, and welcome to the Pascack Players production of Pride and Prejudice. At this time, please turn off your cell phones as to not interfere with the audio system. Please take a moment to locate the emergency exits to the right side and the back of the auditorium. There will be a 15-minute intermission where you can purchase concessions, hugs and kisses, or join the 50-50 raffle to support the cast and crew. In consideration of others, please refrain from talking, taking photos, or recording this performance. Thank you, and enjoy this evening's production of Pride and Prejudice.
What a conquest for our daughters! If only How could it possibly affect them, my dear?
Well, it is a truth universally acknowledged that a single man in possession of a good fortune must be in want of a wife, Papa.
Exactly, thank you, Lizzie, and I'm sure he'll settle for one of them. But you must say Charlotte Lucas.
Mama, Charlotte is our friend.
Well, your horse-faced friend is ashamed of your and shall snap him up in a trice if you do not go. Go, go, go.
Mr. Bingley may have any of the girls he chooses, though I will throw in a good word for Lizzie.
Thank you, Papa.
Lizzie's just a bit better than the others. Not half so handsome as Jane, nor so good-humoured as Lydia.
Thank you, Mama.
Though, you will have your favourites. Mama, and not so small as Mary.
They have none of them much to recommend, my dear.
Well, we never shall be rid of them if you will not visit even one very promising gentleman who has practically fallen into our lap. Don't I, Mary? Tear my nerves to pieces!
I do not call for my own amusement.
Fine, fine.
Oh.
You delight in vexing me. You have no compassion for my nerves, which at any moment snap and tear me like a wound.
My dear, I have high respect for your nerves. They are my old friends. I've been acquainted with them for 20 years at least.
Do not blame your father, girls, when he drops dead.
I say!
Matthew, this estate is entailed away from us after he dies. And when you are all left penniless, old maids, begging for a street for your bread, it will be too late then to cry.
Mama, please don't work yourself up, sir. We're almost out of sorts. Lydia.
Hello.
Lydia. Lydia. Papa, please.
Do not resolve on penury and death quite yet, my dear. Live just long enough for me to introduce you to Mr. Bingley.
Papa?
I met the gentleman yesterday.
Oh, was he ready?
I testify to nothing but that he has 2 eyes, 1 mouth, presumably 2 of everything that ought to be pairs, and 1 of everything single. That he brings in £5,000 a year, and that he will be attending the Longs Ball on Tuesday.
Oh, I love it. Dear Mr. Bennet, dear Mr. Bennet.
Oh, no. No. I hope I've got a moment's peace. Now, Mary, cough as much as you choose.
Lydia, though you are the youngest, I can say Mr. Bingley will dance with you first. Oh, but you must have your slippers. Mr. Bennet! I'm not afraid that I'm the youngest. I'm
A rich bachelor in the neighborhood, Jane. Whatever shall you do to get him in your clutches? One of us must save the family, after all, and you are the likeliest champion. Me, Lizzie. Why not you? Me? I am an ugly, sharp-tongued, awkward little creature. But you are good and kind and 5 times prettier than any other girl in the county. No, you shall have to fall on Mr. Bingley's sword. And be quick about it, too, because the clock is ticking for us old maids.
Then why shouldn't I catch him?
Or me. You're much too young to think of such things, and marry you. But Lizzie speaking like a nonsense, girls, as usual. Yes, we are only joking.
Why should you pretend that love and marriage and all this is a game? It seems rather serious to me.
That's because you are far away from it. When you get closer to the prospect, it becomes much too frightening, and you must laugh so that you do not cry. Playing games keeps one sane, especially when the stakes involved threaten to drive one mad. Stop filling her head with foolishness. It's not a game, Lydia. But isn't it? There are rules, strategies, wins, losses, and it is, theoretically, done for pleasure.
How do you know when you found the right match?
I shouldn't tell you, but...
Yes?
You know you've met the right one when...
Yes?
A lightning bolt shoots out of the sky and fries you like an egg! You probably decide he's your perfect match just after your mama has finished counting his rich, sickly relatives and your papa has called on his bankers. These things are all arranged above one's head, Lydia. It's complicated, dear. But I imagine you know you've met the right person.
Well, at first there's a liking, and then you behave appropriately, of course, but eventually there's a perfect understanding between souls. It's wordless, faultless.
Ooh! Now who's filling your head with nonsense? What novels have you been reading?
What do you really think it is, Elizabeth?
I have no desire to find out. One of you shall have to marry to save the family from ruin, for I'll none of it.
You don't mean that.
I know myself, Jane. I shall never marry, for the state is fundamentally flawed as far as I can see. It is all too much. I would, however, make a lovely maiden aunt, so do hurry and make the necessary arrangements with this Mr. Bingley.
Okay, good enough. So, Bingley, 5,000 a year. If you don't want to be homeless, one of you is going to snatch up this man, and do not care if you like him. Yeah, you're going to basically die. Anyway, so, let's get ready. Right. Ready?
Yes, sure.
Close enough. Chest and bum and eyes and smile. Chest and bum and eyes and smile. Catch that man with female wild. Catch that man with female wild. Lie now, girls, attention. Dick stand straight. No man lies some hunchback, and it does not destroy you too.
Good Lord!
Now, step back a bit. The stress itches. Smiles, everyone. Do attempt to look agreeable. Lizzie, this may be your last chance. And you in full parade, I shall serve as vanguard. Yoo-hoo, Mrs. Longhouse, your boyfriend Scrofula is here tonight. I spy red coats.
Lydia, don't step out of line! Lydia! How can you laugh?
What else is there to do?
Charlotte, Jane, Lizzie. Oh, married.
So long as I join the line immediately and not lose any more partners, you shameless Bennett. I spy.
Haven't you been engaged for any nonsense?
There's a deplorable lack of gentlemen. I spy nobody with ability.
I spy a terribly dull evening ahead. I hate this kind of event.
Lizzie!
What? I do not like being pushed and pulled and trod upon. Let's play a game I'd rather not win. I spy your mother snaring Mrs. Longskabby's son for you now.
Don't squeeze it, Steve!
I spy Lydia having rather too much punch. Lizzie!
Well, I do believe I spy the wealthy Mr. Bingley entering now. It is equally great sister. She's not to be admired. I rather hate her. But that cannot be the bachelor my mother described, Charlotte. He looks most disappointingly mortal.
No.
My heavens, Caroline, have you ever seen such a charming room?
Sick sort of charm.
And thus, natural, unaffected, wonderful. Escaped you, has it? Come, sir. Darcy, have you ever seen a nicer woman? They're a little like dancing to the blood.
Any savage can dance.
And so do that.
All these vivacities, all these eccentricities was mentioned. It's such a refreshing contrast to London life, don't you agree?
I have never found fault with too much perfection.
Oh, Darcy, there's never been a pleasant ball or better company, and I would never be happier than I am this very moment. In fact, I do believe I spy.
Charles?
I hate this kind of event.
Detestable, hard bed. Clumsy.
It is a very close room.
Are you getting hot?
This is Mr. Bingley has arrived. As far as friend, Mr. Darcy was not 10,000 a year. Mama!
Ah, Mr. Bingley, my eldest, Miss Jane Bennet.
Mr. Bennet, would you?
Mr. Darcy, don't you think a fair such as ourselves?
It is a compliment I never pay. Punch. Hot. Punch.
Oh. You see, Charlotte, of all the girls, Bingley
or decent, or even breathing, so long as Will wins. 5,000 a year if only Jane can ensnare him.
What, Charlotte? As I turn one skirmish to two victories.
Mrs. Bennet tries a check.
Oh, Lizzie, how can you be so careless as to spill upon Mr. Darcy? Mr. Darcy, I am Mrs. Bennet, sir, and this is my single daughter, Elizabeth. Oh, is it soaking? Is it just shaking? Naughty, naughty girl! Punish her, sir. Look at that blind! Won't you show her that imperfection is easily forgiven by true gentlemen and stand to his house? Your friend Bingley here has already claimed my eldest, but Lizzie here is free. Very free indeed.
I would not want to get you wet.
Elizabeth, don't apologize. Oh, this is too much.
I must take my leave.
So soon?
I'm not fit to be seen. I look laughable.
Don't leave me, come on, surrender! That's sad!
But Richard, this country's ball. Get out of now, Darcy. We won't be away.
This is all too much.
What understand?
Mama, stop!
Any lady here.
What do you say?
All these vulgar country mothers pushing their daughters out the one like Boy Scouts in the class. I loathe church company, I detest dancing, and I have no desire to give some girl to a desperate, awkward spinster, let alone while covered in rum punch.
Darcy!
Just getting some more for two, but wrong side, so punch. oh, Mr. Darcy with me?
No.
Well, we really should leave. This company is rather too lively to be born.
My dear, we really should leave, but Mary is worse than a terrier. And, oh, Lydia has rather overindulged in the refreshments.
Mama, as to actually Captain Punch again. I'm proud of this family be undone by the demon drink. Jane. Yes!
She says yes. She would love to see you again very soon.
I shall have my sister invite you to Netherfield.
Oh, my dear!
Go, Jane. Go.
We could not be better positioned for victory, Mr. Bennet. Oh, Bingley admired Jane so openly, danced with her all evening, hadn't a glance for another woman. Charlotte Lucas was beside herself with nasty, spiteful jealousy. And now, to have her specially invited to Netherfield's park overnight!
She was not invited overnight, Mama. They had to ask her to stay because you sent her to be on horseback and when it rained, you would not send the carriage to collect her, which is very
clever, my dear. This is not my first sally in the field. I won your father didn't die, and wasn't he a prize?
Have consumption or be done with it!
What did Mr. say again? What did he say, Lydia? Mamma, you said you would hem this dress. Mr. Robinson asked Mr. Bingley which he thought the prettiest woman in the room, and he said, Miss Jane Bennet! Excellent! Overhearing Lydia, very well said.
Mama, you should not be encouraging her to eavesdrop.
You cannot say so, Elizabeth. Vulgar country mothers pushing their spinster daughters. Not all men are so worth listening to, are they? Poor Lizzie. Can you believe Mr. Darcy's so rude? But everyone says that he is edged up with pride, and I dare say he's got me beneath him.
I would never have you dance with such man, Elizabeth.
I can safely promise never to do so, Papa.
Such a waste of £10,000.
Pride. Pride. Pride and vanity are different. A person can be proud without being vain. Pride relates more to what we think of ourselves. Vanity to what we would have others think of us. Pride.
I prefer the coughing.
If I was rich as Mr. Darcy, I shouldn't care how people thought I was. I would own 100 dresses and drink a bottle of wine a day. You drink more than you ought, and I would take away your bottle directly. You wouldn't. I would. You wouldn't. I would. From Jane. She says we should not expect her back, for she is taken ill, and the doctor advises her quite seriously to rest. Oh, isn't this wonderful? Since I've heard that Jane may stay as long as she likes, that she may stay forever.
Mamma, should we send the carriage to allow Jane to recover from home?
Are you feeling quite alright, Elizabeth?
Papa! She may as well be ill where it's advantageous. Papa!
Oh, perhaps she'll die. That'd be so romantic.
Matrimonial games are women's purview, Elizabeth, and I had enough of them when my own round was lost. Leave me out of it!
We often hear of sickness from love. Perhaps this is a case of love from sickness.
Very well said, Mary.
If you will not bring Jane to us, I shall go to her myself.
I permit you to do so. You may not have the carriage!
Then I shall walk.
Mr. Bennett? Elizabeth? Lizzie? Come!
She smiles too much.
Jane?
Perfectly inoffensive.
I think we're rather perfect. Period.
You ought to have to admire people in general, Bingley. All the world is agreeable in your eyes, and I never heard you speak ill of a person in my life.
Perhaps you are too inclined to facade, Darcy.
If we do not address our imperfections in all frankness, we never shall correct them.
Yes, Charles, there's great virtue in being...
I cannot stand her existence to show you at once, but you must agree that Miss Jane Bennet is amiable at the least.
I do. See that one does want to mix with the best. After all, little clear-eyed judgment, what shocking company we should keep. Bennett, sir. Mr. Bingley. Miss Bingley. Mr. Darcy. Is this your ball? Miss Bennet, have you suffered some sort of accident? No, I'm here to call upon my sister.
Your clothes.
Oh, well, I came on foot. It is only 3 miles.
3 muddy miles.
Yes, well, I suppose it is still raining a bit, and I took a bit of a tumble. How is Jane?
Up and down, Miss Bennet.
Will you take me to her? Then you need interfere for your carpets.
Of course. And I will send the more tea.
More tea!
Oh, my.
What very shocking.
No more tea, thank you. Jane? Lizzie? Yes? Oh, Lizzie, I'm so glad you're here. Won't you come out now, darling? Ollie, accent free. Oh, Jane, you gave me such a turn. I thought you were dying.
Well, I am. Listen to me.
It's only a cold.
It's a disaster. How can I go down there and Mr. Bingley see me like this, Lizzie? I look worse than Mary.
No, you are speaking nonsense, dearest. You're beautiful as ever.
You think that because you love me. But Mr. Bingley, who only known me, and first impressions are very important.
If he likes you at all, then he will like you even in an imperfect state. And I'm sure he does like you very much.
Really? Because I like him too, so much. He is the perfect man.
Drink your tea and tell me it's such a paradox as possible.
Of course it will. It is water.
6 inches of mud on her. Did you see her hair?
Caroline.
To walk 15 miles or whatever it is, unchaperoned, she really is too much.
I thought Miss Elizabeth Bennet was remarkable this morning.
Charles, I'm sure your noble friend will agree with me, and you do always take his counsel. She demonstrates a shocking indifference to decorum. Darcy, don't you agree?
Miss Elizabeth Bennet.
Bennet, how is your sister?
Materially better, I dare say we shall be able to leave you in the morning.
Oh, no.
Perhaps
Charles.
I should send her up
Charles.
some more tea.
Charles.
Sit. Stay. Good boy.
Miss Bennet, do you play? Oh, well, a little. Mr. Darcy, does your sister still play? A touching pianoforte, so graceful, so delicate, so faultless. But then she is so well-bred.
It's remarkable how all ladies are like that. So accomplished.
All ladies accomplished, Charles, whatever could you...
All of you embroidered persons, play instruments, and do a whole host of busy little arts that would leave me bewildered.
Well, those are, of course, almost the only occupations allowed to us.
If that is what you call accomplished, Bingley, I'm not surprised that you're thinking all ladies so. I don't know more than 1 or 2 women who truly fit the description.
I wager you set your expectations high, Mr. Darcy. What is your ideal?
No woman can be called accomplished who possesses a mastery of music, needlework, and the languages.
All the languages?
And even that is nothing. She does not know when to speak and when to hold her peace. The accomplished woman is irreproachable, and elegant, any a sparkling delight to any eye, and a faultless vessel to which the confidences of the great man may be safely poured.
Into this facade, she must add something more serious. By the continual improvements of her character.
Well, I am no longer surprised at you knowing only a few accomplished women. I rather wonder you knowing any. I never saw such a lady. Uniting capacity, taste, and elegance with, I almost forgot, moral invincibility.
Let us play fairly, Miss Bennet, and you may redeem yourself. Surely you can picture the perfect man.
Is it funny?
Pictures of perfection make me sick and wicked.
The ideal, then, if not the perfect.
If I ever saw him, I should know it.
Miss Jane Bennet.
Miss Bennet! Did you get my tea?
Entrances are family traits, I see.
Bingley seems enthralled.
It will pass, as all blind attachments do.
I suppose he's in no real danger. Still, she's an interesting creature.
You are lost, sir, but I know your mind. You are thinking how insupportable it would be to pass much time in society.
I am meditating on the pleasures that a pair of bright eyes in the face of a woman can bestow.
Oh?
It's served. Which Mr. Bingley, he throws his ball to a purpose. He prepares his ambush, and you must take care to be
Mr. Bingley's ball is no compliment to me, Mamma. Speaking nonsense.
Oh, you will engage him in earnest, won't you? You won't be too diffident.
How you do all that is appropriate.
Oh, you've always been like favorites 5,000 a year. I can't wait to see the look on Charlotte Nicholas's face. Mama, Lizzie, Jane, Lizzie, Mama, Mario, where's this from us? Where's position? Lizzie, to me, like, yay or nay? Yay or nay, Lizzie?
okay. Is it a vegetable?
No.
A mineral?
An animal?
No.
A cat?
No, it's not
A
no,
rat?
no, no, Mama, I have done my duty for the family. I have learned how a most majestic beast. A gentleman for tea.
A gentleman?
Yes!
Lydia, you should not be bringing strange men home.
Why not? Why not? I looked Mary Swiftby, and Lord knows she's a stumbling block before the blind. True! I thought you might be Lizzie. My daughters, Elizabeth and Jane. Mr. Wickham, he has recently taken a position in the regiment as a colonel, sir?
Only a lieutenant, I'm afraid.
Ah, well, that's laudable. How about you take a seat over by Elizabeth here while I fetch Mr. Bennet? It may take a moment.
He's out his paper.
I have such a naughty proposition for you. I demand that you come. Of course, Mr. Bingley's ball on Tuesday. He's James Bowden now and ever so rich.
Lydia!
And though Jim will before Lizzie is very well, of course.
Lydia!
No other bachelors would be there except for that James not there when that atrocious Miss Darcy. So absolutely you must go. Come, sir, come.
Lydia!
Mary, do play something more joyful. How can anything be arranged if you counting away like that?
Do forgive my sister.
I like that spirit.
How do you find the county so far, Mr. Wickham?
It is quite charming. Peaceful. Love the steps. Miss Elizabeth Bennet, Miss Darcy. Miss Darcy, Derbyshire.
The same.
May I ask, how old are you?
Oh, we are acquainted. And are you familiar with him yourself, sir?
We are acquainted. I've been connected with the family ever since my infancy. But perhaps I should say no more.
Oh, I shall lay myself bare, Mr. Wickham, tell you that I find the men most disagreeable.
Then I will also expose myself to Patty's intelligence. I am not too surprised. These are dangerous opinions we are expressing on it all.
Not in this county, sir, for he is not at all liked in Hertfordshire. Everybody is disgusted by his pride.
Concerning you all are. Well, it does pain me to see him, but I shall not speak to him from this place too.
Oh.
Miss Elizabeth, in normal conversation I would not normally break my silence, but since we are being so naughty, Mr. Darcy's father is also my godfather.
Oh.
Yes, he loved me as another son and promised that when I came to manhood that I would inherit the most valuable living, but I am afraid that when he passed, that living was given elsewhere.
You were robbed of your inheritance by Mr. Darcy.
I assume he was jealous of my relationship with his father.
Oh, I always knew Darcy hated his fellow creatures, but I had not thought him so bad as this. To descend to thievery, yes, all because of his
Pride?
Pride, precisely. He ought to be publicly disgraced.
That may be, but I swore never to speak ill on his name in memory of my beloved godfather, may he rest in peace before. Miss Elizabeth, I must thank you for allowing me to unburden myself to you.
You may call me Lizzie.
Well then, Miss Lizzie, I must say there is something about you that encourages a man to open his heart to you.
Thanks.
Mr. Bennet will be in presently.
Well, I must be off now. I just wanted to ensure that these two little girls got home safely. Miss Lizzie, I do hope I will see you again at the ball.
What a charming man. But I'll be later.
Well, Lizzie, isn't he perfect? Lydia.
What a catchy air!
Lydia, I'm not interested in catching anybody, and you should not be thinking of such matters.
That's all anyone talks about.
Not me.
Well, you ought to. Well, you ought to.
Lydia, even if I were tempted, Mr. Wickham is inappropriate. Your matchmaking is inappropriate. This conversation is inappropriate.
Well, if you don't want it, scares my nerves.
Where is this Paris? Come to steal away our poor excuses for Helen's.
Just missed him, Paul.
Then I have fulfilled my duty as patriarch, frightening off unserious young men.
See, inappropriate and unserious. Only Lieutenant, Mr. Bennet.
Well, the soundest of nets may occasionally catch the smallest fish, my dear.
You are nice spirits, Papa.
I have had an intriguing letter. Oh? Well, I hope we can accommodate another young man for dinner tomorrow, madame.
Mr. Beely, how dare you collaborate for you!
No, my dear, it is my cousin, Mr. Collins. The very same villain who shall inherit this very estate when I am dead and that blessed peace. He writes to propose a visit. He wishes to rebuild the broken bonds between our houses. And I must inform you, he is single. Even if that fails, my dear, perhaps you can persuade him to cede us the finest linens to shroud me in.
Is he a redcoat, Papa?
A clergyman.
Ooh.
If your girls can manage not to frighten him away. Oh, no, release me.
Lizzie. Mr. Collins sounds very serious and very
I tell you, ladies! You young ladies. You young, gracious ladies of youth and grace. Ladies. It is a grave duty to act as tutor of the spirit, essence, soul, but it is my place as clergyman to promote, establish, inspire charity. And I've been sent here by none other than the most righteous Lady Catherine de Bourgh.
Huh?
Lady Catherine Dibber! Oh! And I flatter myself that my overtures are meritorious, creditable, commendable, in that you will not reject, refuse, spurn this rough red olive blanche.
Well said, Mr. Collins, well said! Now, we are open to any connection between our households. Any connection. Sex.
To spend even an instant in the company of my fair cousins, madam, shall be to feel forever gratified, enchanted,
Entranced.
entranced.
It is your duty, girls, to show Mr. Collins all of Merrington's charms. And I know, sir, that you will stand with my daughters at Bingley's ball this coming Tuesday.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
No, Lydia only means, sir, that as a clergyman you may not wish to dance.
I hope to couple with all my cousins in the course of the evening. I make this plain assertion plain to you, for I think we are relations.
Oh, time for dinner, Look, oh, time for dinner.
Miss Bennet, I hope to heal the rift between our households. To be plain, I'm a bachelor, and thanks to my noble patroness, Lady Catherine I have some notable, estimable, considerable wealth.
Collins.
Your eldest daughter,
Jane.
Jane, is excessively pretty.
I must inform you that Jane is spoken for. However, my other daughters, sir, are available. Quite available.
I am sent to bring you into dinner.
For you, dear cousin,
Elizabeth.
Elizabeth. I should go anywhere.
That's not an apron. Mom, you were supposed to make a small one. I need my apron off. You want me to look like a widow or the spinster during the ball? Like you're sorry. Get it off. Useless.
So problematic, Mama.
Whatever. All you do is read. You don't even know how to cook or clean or do anything. That's why no one wants to marry you. That's why you're stuck with the weird cousin. Easier. Kind. Okay. Ready?
You really don't.
Okay. Well, I tried. Don't blame me if you don't promise. Chest and bum and deuce and toe. Chest and bum and deuce and toe. No one wants to die alone. No one wants to die alone. So Felicity apparently. Balls, balls, balls. I cannot get enough of them.
Charlotte. I think Jane is already spoken for, and then there were 3 in line. 4? Oh! Yes, 4. Mama, look, it's Colonel Foster.
Well, by all means, pursue him.
Mama!
Take Mary with you.
Mama, you must stop Lydia from chasing after soldiers.
Fine. I never hesitate a little target practicing before engaging more serious skirmishes. Much as you did with Mr. Wickham. You Mrs. Long, how's your style?
Who is Mr. Wickham, Lindy? The lieutenant, but we can overlook that. He does seem rather perfect.
This lady who swore to remain unmarried forever. Pray tell, where is this paragon?
Do not read out the bad simply because I wish for a dance partner less objectionable than Mr. Collins. Besides, I do not spy with him in this assembly.
Jane is rather fortunate in her admirer.
Speaking of perfection,
Does she like him?
can't you see?
She seems too composed to be in love.
How forward can she be without being accused of...
Colonel Foster, may I touch your musket?
vulgarity?
She'll catch him if she just breaks the rules a bit.
Must it always be catching and gaming and strategy? Perhaps she wishes to get to know him before making a display of her affection.
How much can one really ever know of anybody? She should hurry up and get into the altar. She'll have the rest of her life full of love.
You yourself would never act that way, Charlotte.
In my experience, one invariably finds oneself doing the very things once
or know what to do. Speaking of which...
Miss Bennett, I wondered if you felt the inclination to dance. With me.
But you hate to dance.
If you are previously engaged.
No, yes, no, it is fine. Go, go, go.
Madame, et monsieurs. Now, you are familiar with the charms of most of my girls, especially you, sir. But one of my young ladies is more diffident. Miss Mary Bennett has graciously consented to share with us a most unspeakable gift, far better than wit, style, or charm, or beauty, or personality. The gift of music. She will be available to dance afterwards. Miss Bailey, Caroline, we have so much to discuss.
Behold the painful exertions of a lady attempting to be thought accomplished.
You are joking?
I must start out by being pertinent, Mr. Darcy, or I shall be afraid of you.
Is something amusing?
Nothing, everything, us, I suppose.
You are laughing at me?
At myself, sir.
What about you is so amusing?
Where to begin? My flaws and follies and inconsistencies? The whole range of my life, which is out of my control, really. One cannot always cry about it, so I laugh whenever I can. Suppose you do not laugh at yourself, Mr. Darcy?
It is the study of my life to avoid those weaknesses which expose character to ridicule.
Such as vanity and pride.
Vanity is indeed weakness, but pride, where there's real superiority of the mind, pride may be justified. You are laughing at me.
Only because the differences between us are so extreme. I am fundamentally flawed and thus hopelessly unserious. But you seem to possess such perfect understanding that you have no defect whatsoever.
Miss Bennett, I think you cannot mean that.
I talk a lot of nonsense. Can you concede that others may laugh to see us standing up together?
Why?
Because it is such an unlikely pairing.
If I thought it laughable, I never should have asked you.
Mary! Another song, please! Nothing can be arranged to this music.
No, Mary. You have delighted us long enough.
She is now available to dance. Retreat!
Miss Bennett, I am also, not perfect.
No.
I have some faults.
Pray tell. Come, sir, do play fairly.
Perhaps my temper is a little too unyielding for the liking of the world.
Oh.
I cannot forget, laugh at the follies of others.
Ah.
And my good opinion, once lost, is lost forever.
You've chosen your flaws well, sir. They are truly very serious.
There is perhaps a particular evil in every character.
May some of yours, Mr. Darcy. Your defect is, I'm afraid, a propensity to hate everybody.
And yours is willfully to misunderstand them.
Mr. Darcy! I wasn't expecting to see you here, sir. I thought you had slithered back to town by now for your mother society. By all means, do not tarry.
Mama.
What? Why should we keep Mr. Darcy from more sophisticated clients? I'm sure Mr. Bailey enjoys Meryton, but then again, he always has something agreeable to say, as opposed to those who fancy themselves as important.
Mama.
Mr. Darcy may go where he is tolerated, and Mr. Bingley stay where he is wanted. We are happy to rid ourselves of one and keep the other forever.
Bravo, Mama, bravo! Why are you here, Chirpy? No one likes you. And why are you dancing with Lizzie? But we know that you do not like her. Come on, Lizzie, let's go find Wickham for you.
Wickham? Mr. George Wickham of Derbyshire?
Yes, of Derbyshire.
Fun, suitable dance partner, then Sam.
I assure you he's not, madame. I know the man very well.
He had the most interesting things to say about you.
Come, Lizzie, come.
Have you all made a pact to expose yourselves as much as possible this evening?
Mr. Darcy, how could you leave me at the mercy of that vulgar woman? Lord, where bright eyes I see. When shall I wish you joy?
Lizzie's imagination is indeed rapid. It jumps from admiration to love to matrimony in an instant.
I was only joking, sir.
You too? I do not enjoy being an object of fun.
Well, you should be very charming mother-in-law. She can find me some shocking expectations just now. These little games are getting out of hand. I'm serious. Don't you agree?
Perhaps I should go after all?
No.
It is
no.
Oh.
Indeed, you could stand to be more shocking in your dealings with Mr. Bingley, Jane.
Really? I always feel that I'm rather forward. Truly. Well, I suppose we're all blind to ourselves. When he comes, I'll try to let him know that I like him.
I like you, Mr. Bingley. A truly affectionate response to a proposal.
Charlotte, we cannot know.
Is it from Netherfield, Jane? Is it from Bingley? Jane? Do you come outside? Mr. Collins has something to say to Lizzie.
Oh, my fair cousin!
Come. Silence!
Please do excuse me.
Your modesty, cousin, only adds to your merits, attributes, perfections. Such delicacy is most desirable in a lady, and, you know.
Mr. Collins!
Yes, Elizabeth Marie Bennet!
Not my middle name!
I've chosen you as the partner, companion, helpmate of my life.
Mr. Collins!
Let me assure you of the violence of my affections. 2 weeks ago, Lady Catherine de Bourgh condescended to give me her most honourable opinion on the subject. Mr. Collins, you must marry, said her ladyship. And she of good stock, and what better stock, my sweet cousin, than that of my own vine. I came to Meryton to find, to select a wife.
Mr. Collins.
And I dare say I'll bring back quite a prize. Of all my cousins currently available to select from, you are the most desirable.
Mr. Collins, I'm sensible of the honor of your proposal, but it is impossible for me to do otherwise than to decline it.
You cannot be serious.
Ladies always reject a gentleman's first advances. One must woo, court, win over and over before taking blushing surrender. I shall play this game and confess that your humility is most Captivating, charming, arousing! Mrs. Bennet, congratulate me upon the merger, unification, coupling of our household!
Oh, do not congratulate him!
My cousin refuses me according to the usual practice of elegant females.
Lizzie, refuse?
You are uniformly scrumptious.
The answer is no! No!
No?
No!
What is all this racket?
Mr. Bennet, you must make Lizzie marry Mr. Collins!
I'll allow you to keep this estate within your family.
I know, but no!
But you have such low connections, no other offer will ever be made to you.
I know, but no!
But you are one of 4 daughters and not even very pretty.
I know, but no! Mr. Collins, please, if you would take a step outside. Stop! Stop! Please take a walk.
I can't select a wife!
Elizabeth, are you trying to do this all? Mr. Bennet, think of my nerves!
You have refused Mr. Collins, Lizzie.
I'm generally not interested in finding a husband, Papa. Particularly not that one.
Your mother insists that you accept him.
Or I shall never see her again. Papa, my feelings in every respect forbid it.
Then an unhappy choice is before you, Elizabeth. Your mother shall never see you again if you do not marry Mr. Collins. And I shall never see you again if you do.
Bennet!
Leave me to my paper! Well,
And so I sink the family fortunes.
Lizzie, why did you not accept Mr. Collins? He was most appropriate.
What is appropriate? One should do anything rather than marry without affection.
Oh, what fun this all is! Oh, Charlotte, bless you, have you rid yourself of Mr. Collins?
Not precisely. He has gone to Lucas Lodge to ask consent from my father.
You don't mean to say he's made another offer on the course of a what?
Charlotte, how can you tell such a story? Mr. Collins wants to marry Lizzie. You refused him rather absolutely. He came to select a wife, and I was there.
Charlotte, you scarcely know him.
Down to 2 little conversations. We've been thrown together a bit, and that is all most couples have.
Mr. Collins!
No one else is asking, Lizzie. I have no money, my parents shall have no dowry, and I'm not... Well, you and I aren't exactly James, are we?
Charlotte.
Clock is ticking. Marriage is a serious matter. It should be considered rationally. With Mr. Collins, I shall have...
This. All of this.
Yes, but the entail is not my fault, Jane. Lizzie had a chance. There doesn't need to be any awkwardness between us, does there? We shall soon laugh at this as we do everything else.
Lydia has told Mama.
You will visit me in Kent once I'm married, won't you? You won't abandon me just because I've stepped out of the line? Lizzie, do wish me joy.
Jane, please don't cry. Are you upset with me too?
No, it's the note from Netherfield. Miss Bingley writes that she and her brother have left the county this morning.
Did Mr. Darcy go too?
When are they to return? Never. Lizzie, she said they're never coming back. Mama!
This is not a game! This is not a game! Mama! Game! This is not a game! Don't you understand? Willful and frightful and stubborn and passive and military and indifferent to perfect men to suitable matches lost and all of my hard work is for nothing and we shall go to ruin! Take me away! I can't see these stupid girls! Take me to my sick bed, to my deathbed, my nerves, my poor nerves! see.
My dear.
Yes, Doctor. I do not wish to discuss it.
Mrs. Bennet!
I was just thinking of how Charlotte will decorate this place when she'll attend full school. What do you think, Lizzie? Will she burn it all to matchsticks?
Mama.
She may well do whatever she likes, of course. She will be the mistress of this household.
Mama.
I do know one thing. There will be no gallant Mr. Bingley on horseback, for he will have been long snatched up by a girl with an inch of spine.
Mama.
And we, just a widowed mother and her spinster daughters, may well weep over lost chances, but it will be too late then to cry.
My dear, let us hope for better things.
Oh, how I wish to see those days.
Perhaps you will die before me. Then you will have to endure none of it. No, no.
And I'm out for you.
She'll never die.
At least she stopped throwing things. Now we move to Kent, and when you return from visiting her, Mama will be too eager for gossip than to hold a grudge. And as for Bingley, he'll soon be forgotten. Obvious it was. I had nothing to hope for, Lizzie. It was an error of fancy on my side, nothing more.
He must have felt something for you.
But to leave so suddenly, and no word for a month?
I must admit it is not like the Bingley we knew. But every day just confirms the inconsistency of all characters, even those who seem to be perfect gentlemen. Jane, do you love him?
I thought love would be a perfect understanding between souls. Perfect and faultless without words needed, but I don't know his mind.
His behavior is unaccountable.
Lizzie, even if I did love him, it's not like I can know he's the right match. We'll never know.
Hello! You'll never guess what feast I learned home again! Mr. Wickham.
Miss Bennet, Miss Lizzie, however do you do?
They are very boring, Mr. Wickham.
Lydia!
They see no one and go nowhere since stupid Mr. Bingley stupid went a stupid way.
Lydia!
It'll make you laugh and laugh. Wickham, do your impression of the cross-eyed cabin or tell the shocking story about Darcy stole your inheritance. And we to pick up the seriousness. Come, sir, come.
Lydia, please accompany me to the other room.
Why?
Go!
High spirits. May I?
I thought only ladies played these games.
I used to play with Mr. Darcy's sister when we were little.
Oh, I hear she's very accomplished.
A proud girl like all that family, but I'm afraid that's when her brother turned on me, so did she.
Lydia said you told her of your disinheritance, but I thought you swore never to speak of Mr. Darcy's misdeeds.
I had resolved not to, but I'm afraid I'm most too open, too honest. Do you blame me for it?
No, Mr. Darcy has earned his infamy.
Miss Lizzie, I do believe I have finally come
Mr. Wickham, allow me to apologize. I should not have run on in that wild manner.
It is quite all right. I have been known to behave in a wild manner myself.
Papa, this is Mr. Wickham. He escorted Mary home today.
Where is Mary, Lydia?
Ah, the infamous Mr. Wickham. I've heard a great deal about you from my girls. Which one shall you be taking off my hands?
Papa!
Lydia, business not right. Oh, you will drag your feet. Must you breathe so? It's most unattractive.
Please pardon the chaos. I wish I could say it was unusual.
Miss Lizzie, may I call upon you again soon?
Oh, I'm off to visit my friend in Kent tomorrow, but I shall return in a few weeks.
Well, I do hope I can wait so long.
I must congratulate you, Elizabeth. I know Jane has been crossed in love recently, and I know a woman like that, of all things, gives a lady a sort of distinction. And now you have found a man to disappoint you too.
Mr. Wickham shall not disappoint me if I can prevent it, Papa.
Why not? He seems capable of jilting you creditably.
How many times must I tell you, tell everybody, that I shall never marry?
So they say. But how can you promise to be so much wiser than all of your fellow creatures? Never send to know for whom the bell tolls, Elizabeth. It tolls for thee. Bing bong, bing bong, bing bong, bing.
Well, they do not chime for you so much as for the Angelus, but the Lord will allow this double celebration, a jubilee.
Recognition?
Recognition of your visage. Bing, bing, bong.
My dear, perhaps you could go and collect some nosegays for tonight?
Ah, yes, I do not wish to overpower you, but I must inform you, my sweet, sweet, sweet cousin, we have been asked to tea at Rosings by none other than Lady Catherine de Bourgh.
Lady Catherine
de Bourgh!
Yes!
And you will have the inestimable honor of meeting Miss de Bourgh, a charming daughter, and mine should be of a delicate constitution, and that, as I told her ladyship, has deprived the British court of its brightest star, ornament, jewel.
My dear, nosegays. How are you, Lizzie?
I'm doing.
Dianthus, cornflowers, laburnum.
He likes to garden. I encourage him to do so. And walk to Rossings every day, and tend to his parishioners, and be out, generally.
Hollyhocks, daisies, syringa.
How are you, Charlotte?
Oh, life's imperfect on this side of the line, too. But whenever I get overwhelmed or frustrated, I just play a little game. I close my eyes and whatever is bothering me become mere noise, like bells ringing or birds chirping, meaningless, inoffensive portion of the scenery.
The circus!
How is pretty, isn't it?
Yes.
Yes.
Ladies, the carriage will fetch us within the hour. Miss Bennet, what do you intend to wear?
This?
Well, come.
Lady Catherine de Berg.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
My lady, Mr. Bird, you both look so marvelous, splendid, radiant.
Don't look at my daughter when she comes.
Oh, Miss Elizabeth Bennet, madam.
Miss Bennet! Turn! Turn, turn, turn! A tolerable figure, I suppose. You're from Meryton, Miss Bennet? I had a relationship there recently and drove through it once myself. It was disgusting. Why? And you're one of 4 daughters. Are any of the sisters handsomer than herself?
Most, my lady.
All girls, and thus your father's estate shall go to Collins. How poorly planned.
The decision was not mine to make, ma'am.
You shall be the less of it when your father dies. See, young man.
No?
Well. Are any of your younger sisters out in society?
Oh,
The younger one's out before the eldest are married. But some must be very young.
the youngest is only 14, but really, ma'am, it should be hard upon younger sisters for them to not have their fair share of amusement simply because the elder may not have the inclination to marry.
Disgusting.
Mr. Fitzwilliam Darcy and Lady Anne de Berg.
Fitzwilliam, you naughty, 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 naughty boy. We were not expecting you until tomorrow.
I travelled early to avoid bad weather, ma'am.
We are but too pleased, except Anne and I are not dressed for any company of note. My nephew, Mr. Fitzwilliam Darcy. Nephew? The rector, Collins. His wife, and...
Miss Elizabeth Bennet.
Did you mix with this company in Meryton, sir?
Not willingly.
We attended a dance or two together, ma'am.
I had no idea that you danced. Sit by Anne, sir. Tell us your journey. Hey, by Anne, Fitzwilliam.
Oh! Tea.
Miss Bennet, do you play?
A little, but not well.
We shall hear you.
Are you all right? Fitzwilliam! I never thought of him having a Christian name. He's only ever been infamous for Mr. Darcy. Fitzwilliam! How shall I hear you? You look staring. Fitzwilliam is staring.
What is it you are looking at, Fitzwilliam? What are you talking of, ladies?
Of the instrument, ma'am.
No doubt serious, but you have no. We bought Fitzwilliam!
I am surprised to see you in Kent, Miss Bennet.
It appears you cannot escape me, and vice versa.
She came to visit me, sir.
Mrs. Collins is an old friend. You may have danced with her had you deigned to engage any of the young ladies in Meryton.
I never had the pleasure of a formal introduction.
Oh, no one can be introduced to the full Fitzwilliam.
Perhaps I am ill-qualified to recommend myself to strangers.
Shall we ask this gentleman the reason? Shall we ask him why a man of sense who has lived in the world is ill-qualified to recommend himself to strangers?
I do not possess the talent of conversing naturally with those who have not spoken with before. I cannot easily catch their tone or appear interested in their concerns. I cannot easily say polite things which I know to be untrue or appear
I'm
otherwise.
serious. My fingers do not move over this instrument in the masterly manner that I see so many women's do, and yet they are as capable of expression. They are not the same force, rapidity, or charm, but I know, Charlotte, it is because I will not take to the trouble of practicing.
Well, Mrs. Collins, neither of us performs perfectly in front of strangers.
Fitzwilliam, What are you talking of?
Of music.
Well, I must have my share of the conversation.
I shall tell you everything they are saying.
Mr. Darcy, might I inquire after Mr. Bingley?
I left Bingley in town.
He left Meryton so suddenly. You all did?
And were we missed?
Sir, I have been instructed to take your place. Your aunt wishes you to hear how Mr. Beg would handle an instrument. Elizabeth Bennet, I believe that Anne admires you.
Charlotte, you are talking nonsense.
You still find him odious?
I still find him odd. And of course I still find him offensive, Charlotte. Remember his treatment of Mr. Wickham.
His behavior appears reprehensible, but perhaps you may have misjudged him.
Charlotte.
For £10,000 a year, I could overlook all manner of imperfection.
Perhaps I shall oblige the company with a tune, a song, air. Love, if you will, but marry.
My
Make
dear.
two hearts beat as one.
My dear.
Like you a double cherry down my chin.
My dear, you need not join us. You needn't lead your conversation.
Oh, I'm sent away. Lady Catherine is arranging a tete-a-tete. A perfect match, for she shall inherit Rosings and keep Pemberley. A perfect match.
Indeed. And so died the hopes of Miss Bingley.
That Bingley brings me to my other point. You see, I have a double plot, a mission, intrigue. Lady Catherine sent me to ask, what lady was it that drove Mr. Darcy out married you?
A lady.
Yes, for you know I was, of course.
A lady.
You see, Bingley got in a scrape with a woman. It was a match so imperfect, unwise, imprudent. She came from a vulgar, common, low sort of family. And if Mr. Darcy had not whisked him away, Bingley would have been caught, entangled, ensnared. But you must know, what was her name? I like to eat roast goose with stuffing, stuffed up so tight in my rectory.
Lizzie, I'm so sorry. I was wrong about him the whole time.
And I was right, Charlotte. I was right. I have seen him clearly from the beginning.
I would stay, but I cannot miss both services.
I shall try to write to Jane.
I will let the others know you are still unwell. At least you will not get wet. Oh.
They said you were ill, and then I did not see you just now in the church. I came to inquire if you are better.
I'm fine.
Bells!
Pardon?
Bells. They never will work if they're made perfectly, you know. Weak metal, careless manufacturing, they never sell ring as they should. But if they're cast with stronger stuff, of quality,
They just go and go, and you can't control the vibrations, can you? They just go and go however they will once they're struck, and nothing can stop them. And whether they sound for alarm or benediction, they just ring and ring and ring until the energy is spent or they crack.
What?
They ring to demand. Attention must be paid. Something is happening. Something arranged over our heads. Something out of our control has changed.
What?
In vain I have struggled. My feelings will not be repressed. You must allow me to tell you how ardently I admire and love you.
What?
I love you. In spite of all my endeavors, in spite of the absolute unsuitability of the match, in spite of your family, and quite frankly your own conduct, you haven't snared me. Your mother taught you well. I am yours entirely. Miss Bennet, you win.
Ah! Oh! Stop! No, stop! You're giving it away! I do not need you! If I could express gratitude for your declaration, sir, I would thank you for it, but I have never once desired your good opinion.
You cannot be serious.
I am! I actually am! And I'm so far from trying to ensnare you, Mr. Darcy, that I have openly decried you as the most uncivil of men.
I uncivil? When with so little civility I am refused.
How can I otherwise when you tell me that you only like me against your will, your reason, your character? And I have other provocations. You reproach me for my conduct, but you yourself acted in a reprehensible manner. Your treatment of Mr. Wickham.
I suppose Wickham is a great favourite of yours?
He is an agreeable man, one whom you robbed this inheritance over nothing but your pride.
Who told you that?
It is not the only claim laid against you, and had my feelings not already been decided, had they even been favourable, do you think I could accept a man who has ruined the happiness of a beloved sister?
Perhaps Mr. Wickham has told all of Meryton that I deprived him of the living promised by my father. But I dare say he did not tell you what led to his disinheritance.
He said that
Wickham attempted to seduce my sister. Georgiana was only 14 years old, a sweet, soft-hearted, romantic, and innocent. This is the agreeable man you speak of.
You cannot believe it.
Believe what you will. I speak frankly as always. I would slander Wickham's name as openly as he does my own, but for the sake of Georgiana's reputation. As for your sister, Bingley liked Jane Bennet, well then he likes everybody. And she did not seem to invite serious attachment. She was amiable, but I never saw evidence that she felt anything more.
Then you are blind.
What I did see was a most imperfect match, with indifferent and unreliable players spurred on mostly by the fortune-hunting machinations of your mother, whose total lack of propriety even you must acknowledge. The morning we left Meryton, Bingley did intend to propose to your sister. I urged him instead to absent himself from the county. I told him Jane Bennet did not care for him, and he would soon be trapped in a shameful connection. But had I known that she did indeed return his affections...
She did. She does.
I still would have done the same. It was a most imperfect match, and I'm glad to have spared him from it. Surely you've seen the consequences of a mismatch. Surely you've seen the misery of imprudent attachment. Could I speak in flatteries like with other gentlemen?
Mr. Darcy, you are mistaken. You believe that you could have made the offer in any way that would have tempted me to accept. From the first moment of our acquaintance, you have been unfairly arrogant, prideful, and disdainful of the feelings of others, particularly those of my sister Jane. Sweet, soft-hearted, romantic, and innocent. Mr. Darcy, I have no inclination towards marriage, but even if I did, you are the last man whom I would ever consider.
This is all too much. Miss Bennet, I swear I shall never again express sentiments which are so disgusting.
What a mess. And all that from that conceited, taciturn, unfeeling man. Can you believe it, Charlotte?
Well, you can hardly call him unfeeling.
How can you mount a defense for him after what he said about my family?
Liz, you must admit your mother is rather exceptional.
Even if... Fine, but you cannot defend his cruelty towards Jane.
But if you thought her indifferent...
And who, Charlotte?
You must allow me to make some objections in the service of such a match. £10,000, Lizzie!
When will you write home and tell them the truth about Mr. Wickham?
I shan't. Who knows who's telling the truth? Wickham says one thing and Darcy another. And whatever defense you may mount for him, Charlotte, Mr. Darcy was very insulting.
It sounds as if you did him as much injury as he did you.
I cannot help it. You're so self-righteous, so inconsiderate, so irritating. Whenever I'm around him, I'm irresistibly tempted to aggravate him. It is all too much.
£10,000, Lizzie!
£10,000, Charlotte. I would not take Mr. Darcy for 100,000, even if I didn't hate him. Which I do, Charlotte, I do. She'll never think of him again, and I'm very glad of it.
Well, you may think of him occasionally during our tour of his estate. Lady Catherine has asked us to accompany her to Pemberley next week.
Charlotte, are you mad? I cannot go to his home.
Lady Catherine said he shall not be there. He shall be in town the entire time. You mustn't make me go alone.
No, Charlotte, you won't be alone. You shall have your husband.
Precisely. Come, Lizzie, come.
Best attend the park. Dates back to 1555. Do not step on anything, and then we were on to the main wing.
You could have been mistress of all this.
Shh. Do you have something to share, Miss Bennet?
The grounds have such natural beauty, ma'am.
Goes wild under Fitzwilliam's care, though I'm sure he'd be talked into having a few of these imperfections pruned. A lady's touch is needed. I shall instruct Fitzwilliam to discipline the gardener. Not that he will do so properly.
What do you mean, ma'am?
He is far too familiar with the servants, Mrs. Collins. Overpays them, overfeeds them, and will take in everyone out of patronage, though he makes his estates a charity.
Milady, in Meryton, I knew another gentleman who was associated with his household. Mr. Wickham, were you acquainted with him?
The steward's boy? Terrible tower of fibs, as I recall. My brother brought him up at his own expense. But blood will tell, Miss Bennet, and he turned out to be no gentleman at all.
And he never washes his hands when he uses a sailor cloth.
Sorry here, this statutory loan is of £800.
Hollyhocks, cornflowers, daisies,
My dear!
lilac, primrose, syringa.
Let it all become noise, like bells ringing or birds chirping, meaningless.
Glory, Delphiniums! Why, Gilo!
What are you doing here?
What am I doing here?
We, Lady Catherine, we all, but here I am, alone. So, we were told you were away.
I'm sorry to disappoint you.
No, this is your home. It is big.
Thank you. Miss Bennet, I do not mean to disturb. I do not mean to disturb you.
No, I am disturbed. Not disturbed. This is a nice garden.
I come here when I need to reflect.
to reconsider.
Oh,
Miss Bennet, I've been rethinking, regretting some expressions.
Father, look at this moment, my messenger. It is a family matter, no family tragedy. Your sister, Miss Lydia, she has.
Is she deceased?
She has run away with Mr. Wickham.
Lydia's eloped with Mr. Wickham.
Not married, run away.
Better that she had died.
Lizzie, I'm so sorry. We must get you home.
I shall escort you.
No! She is only 14!
I'm terribly sorry, Collins, for your cousin. That whole branch of the family is ruined. 4 girls and 1 couple. No one shall ever have them now. Shall we?
Pa's making progress everywhere. There's no trace of them. I don't know what we'll do. Mama must be very bad. It's not Mama, Lizzie. It's... Oh!
She locked me in a closet. She, Lydia. When she ran off with Wickham. I was there for at least an hour, but I've recovered nicely. What, Jane? I'm not sad that Lydia's gone. She's always running off and leaving me behind. Like you two. Like everyone. I'm never wanting your games, am I? Besides, short museum is we may draw from an useful lesson about perfection. Perfection? Purity? Flawlessness? An ideal that we must all fulfill, for one false step condemns a person, a female person, to ruin. One step leaves her forever. We also learn from poor stupid Lydia that loss of virtue is irretrievable, that a reputation is no more brittle than it is beautiful, and that a lady can never be too irreproachable in her behavior. Perfection.
Elizabeth, I didn't hear the coach. I must...
Papa, may I get you some tea or something to eat?
You know I cannot stomach it.
Oh, forgive me.
For what?
I was given some private intelligence about Wickham's proclivities, and I should have written home, but I do not want to give the source any credit, and Paul, this is all my fault.
No. For years, out of some disappointment, I've removed myself from the affairs of this family. Is it any wonder, with a father so absent and a mother so focused on conquest, what a silly child could be so harmed?
I spoke so inconsiderately in front of Lydia, called love a game and marriage an irreparable mistake, and filled her head with all sorts of nonsense.
And who always taught you to think only the worst of attachment? It is my fault, my poor girls. Now we are all ruined.
Still your nerves, Mr. Bell.
Mama, you seem so well.
Don't assume you know everything about me, Elizabeth. Now is time for strength, isn't it, my dear? Perhaps attachment isn't always so foolish.
Hello! Hello! You locked me in a closet!
Lydia, you scared us half to death!
Lydia, my child! Well, this is a fine homecoming, but you ought to be more civil considering the prize I have won. Come, sir, come, come, come.
How dare you? How dare you come under my roof, sir? Elizabeth, fetch me my pistol!
I should hope my husband is welcome here.
Your husband?
I told you I won a prize. It's my favorite to marry the 14.
You too, Wickham, you sly dog!
Oh, it's a good joke, Mama. Oh, you shall be making greeting cards of Mrs. Lydia Wickham. Such a good girl.
Mrs. Bennet. Sir, shall we discuss this privately?
It is delightful seeing you all again.
Now I suppose you will all insist on examining the ring and touching about me as single women do. Jane, won't you fetch me some tea?
No, she will not.
She should. I'm before her and president now. Before all of you.
I am frantic to hear the details here, now that your father has decided against shooting your darling Mr. Wickham.
Unless Papa plans to shoot him in the privacy of his study.
Papa won't harm him, for then they'll have me on their hands again, and they have enough spinsters as it is.
You've really married him, Lydia?
Oh, poor Jane. I hope someday you'll have as good luck. Betty?
How could you do this, Lydia, to expose this family to such—
You locked me in a closet! I refuse! Bless you.
How could you behave in such a manner?
I watch you now. I listen, and I have learned many lessons. You never act on your impulses and always try to be perfect. And so you lost Mr. Bingley. Did you get what you wanted?
Lydia!
Your friend Charlotte married only for serious considerations. Did she get what she wanted? You said it was all a game, so why shouldn't I have some fun? I have just as much chance as anyone of being happy.
With Wickham, a man who stole you away from your family without the slightest intention of marrying you.
I knew Wickham would come around to marriage eventually, and once Darcy found us, we were all to church the next day.
Mr. Darcy?
Oh, I promised I wouldn't say. Jane, tea.
What did Mr. Darcy do with it?
Darcy tracked Wickham and I down in London, and they talked about it, and I listened at the latch, as I do, and Darcy told Wickham that if he married me, which at any rate he would have, that he would give all previous debts and grant us annuity to keep us out of trouble.
So a man has to be paid to marry you?
No.
Yes.
No. Yes. No. Hush, you, all of you, with your grave faces. How would any of you know how to make a match? I thought you'd be happy. I have won the game. I have married, and soon I will make you all lovely maiden aunts. I thought that's what you wanted.
Calm down, girls. Nobody's been shot.
All the shots.
Lydia.
Where are we going?
I have consented to the match, but he is not welcome in this house. I have other daughters to think of.
But this is my home.
Was your home.
I want to stay here.
We do not always get what we want. Sometimes we must take what is most open and available. Isn't that right, Lizzie?
But I thought you'd be pleased.
And so we are.
Jane, Lizzie, promise you, Lizzie, soon. Married?
You locked me in a closet.
You may come to us, my dear, as often as you choose.
If I can find the time. Married women, as you know, are very busy and important. Do wish me joy.
Well, that was as fine a fellow as ever I saw. He simpers and smirks and makes love to us all.
Mr. Charming,
I must lie down.
so handsome.
Mrs. Bennet, please. My nerves.
Lizzie, why would Mr. Darcy interfere? It must be some credit to you.
Mr. Darcy is the one who made known to me Wickham's own character. He must feel a sort of responsibility for not being more open about Wickham's history.
But to do so much just for honor's sake?
Oh, we must concede that Mr. Darcy is a most honorable man. Oh, Jane, how could I have acted so despicably? Who am I to reproach Lydia for foolishness? Mr. Darcy was right. He has heard my pride over and over again from the first moment we met. And I so endlessly indulged my own cleverness in the service of my prejudice. Mr. Darcy hurt my pride, yes, but I did him 1,000 times more injury than he ever did to myself. And I abused him openly, even to Wickham, the loveliest of men. I who boasted of my discernment. But Jane, until this moment I did not know myself. I've never been so blind. Yes.
What will you do?
Well, there was nothing to do. I suppose if I ever saw him, I might apologize for being so
Blind.
Yes, well, I never shall see him again. So, I know something of that. Here we are, two suitable matches lost, two imperfect old maids. It's not so bad, is it? We'll see.
Lady Catherine, Miss Bennet. Is this the fallen sister? No, too old.
Jane, Lady Catherine Dipper.
I shall speak to Miss Elizabeth Bennet privately. Go, sister. Go, go, go. Miss Bennet, why am I here? I am here because a scandalous falsehood has recently been brought to my attention.
What?
Do not play games, Miss Bennet. I know that you have been spreading nonsense about certain interactions with my nephew.
Do you mean it's proposed?
Exposed! This is the fiction of which I speak.
Lady Catherine.
Do not play games. It's whether you cannot possibly have made an offer to you, Miss Bennet, for he is already engaged. To my daughter.
Then an offer was indeed impossible.
Precisely. Now, promise me that you shall never indulge in any inappropriate feelings for my nephew.
Lady Catherine, you have no right to my affairs.
So you would rather burden Prince William with your sordid family history.
I must ask you to leave now.
You do realize that any interactions you may have with Fitzwilliam William would bring you nothing but shame and misery. That such a ridiculous mismatch would make him the laughingstock of the entire world.
Mamma, Lady Catherine de Bourgh.
My lady, it is said.
Mrs. Bennet, I should like a tour of your park.
Huh? My lady?
Your shrubbery, then. I shall leave Elizabeth Bennet time for reflection. Come.
Lizzie, what is happening? Jane, Lady Catherine is here to arrange matters above my head. Mamma shall have some shocking news. What do you mean?
Oh, Mary, please stop doing that!
Doing what?
Oh, what is happening?
Mary, please go tell whoever it is we've had quite enough excitement for today.
Oh, Jane, I never thought I should say it, but my nerves are going to snap.
It's for you, Jane. This cannot be for me.
Oh, yes, it is, because it's always for you, isn't it? It's always for everybody else. Everybody gets to play but me.
Mr. Darcy, you must excuse me. You cannot be calling on me.
Come. Bingley.
Jane, say something.
Bingley. Speak.
Who wants to go for a walk? So, Lizzie, it's not always wordless, not always faultless. Come, sir. Come.
I beg your pardon.
And if your aunt discovers you, who I cannot.
My aunt?
And you've really been too impossible.
My aunt is...
I must thank you for bringing Bingley.
What kind of promise? That was the right thing to do.
And you do the right thing often, and
must thank you for your actions, Lydia.
Of course, that was also the right thing to do. It was my fault.
No, Mr. Darcy, that was my fault.
No, it was my fault.
It was my fault.
It was my
Will
fault.
you not argue with me for once? It was my fault, Mr. Darcy. It was my fault. You do these perfectly honourable deeds and say these beautiful things despite not being really good at talking. Really. And you seem so, but then you act in an appalling manner, and I cannot think, and I cannot see straight, and I talk too much. No, I meant to be serious now. What I mean to say is to apologize. I am sorry for many, not all, but some things. And I don't want you to go to ruin. I do not want you to be the laughing stock of the world, so go now, please.
What kind of promise did my aunt try to extract from you?
That I would never indulge in any inappropriate feelings towards you.
Well, you must find that easy enough. Didn't you?
I cannot think with all this ringing! What does it matter, Mr. Darcy? You engaged to your cousin. Mr. Darcy! Oh no.
Fitzwilliam!
It's Catherine.
Mama?
Mama?
Mary!
What is all this racket?
Lady Catherine de Bourgh is here.
I am here because your daughter,
Jane.
Elizabeth,
Lizzie.
Jane, is trying to ensnare my nephew.
Bingo.
Fitzwilliam.
Darcy.
No, you're not.
Good.
Your Elizabeth is trying to catch my Darcy, and I'm here to stop it. This is a serious
It is quite impossible, for she assures me that her nephew is engaged to the daughter.
No.
Fitzwilliam!
It's Catherine.
It is a de facto engagement.
And Catherine.
You have been intended for each other since infancy.
So, you are not engaged?
But it is a perfect.
Even that, my lady, is quite relevant. Poor Lizzie has been quite open about the fact that she hates Mr. Darcy in all extremity. Always has, always will. Thank you, Lizzie. Lizzie? Thank you.
It appears I may have spoken some nonsense, Mama. I do not actually hate him.
I shall not stand by.
Peace, Lady Catherine. Peace. There is hope yet. Mr. Darcy, I thought you never looked at a woman but to see a flaw. But you shall soon be disappointed, sir, for my Lizzie is firmly resolved against marriage altogether. Aren't you? Ask not for whom the bell tolls, Elizabeth. I swore that I would never.
Oh, you did that!
My dear, I swore that I would never again be part of these games. So, if you can manage to secure consent from my daughter, then you shall have my consent. The rest of you, go! Now, Mary, when is your gentleman to come in?
This is all so mortifying.
Your family is.
So is yours.
Well, my sister's not.
So is one of mine.
My father was the best of men.
So is mine. Even my mother has her virtues, but I cannot believe I'm saying it.
Your cousin is intolerable.
So is yours.
Yes. So you do not hate me then?
The opposite, actually. It still feels as if it is all arranged beyond my control, and it is ridiculous, and it is not perfect.
No.
So I do not know if this is the right match. How do you know if this is the right match?
I do not know.
I do not know.
I do not know.
This is all too much.
Then let us make it a game.
But it is not a game. It is serious, but not just serious. It is ridiculous and...
Then let us make it a dance. Elizabeth. Lizzie. Will you...
To reverse ourselves entirely, to know ourselves so little. Do you want to be the laughing stock of the world?
Let them laugh.